Hey Aries, I hope you guys are doing great. This is going to be your general life tarot reading for August 1st through the 15th. If you want to skip the card pull and go straight to your message, feel free to click the timestamp in the description box below. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So, I'm going to first pull a couple of oracle cards just to see what the energy is that's surrounding this reading for you. And the first card that came out is Sarasvati, the arts. Express yourself through creative activities. Okay, so let's pull another oracle card and see what other energies are surrounding you. And what we have that flipped out is time to go. All right, so we'll see how those fit in, but let's pull some tarot for you, see what else is happening. So starting with your current energy. All right, current energy for my Aries collective, we have the Knight of Swords and we also have the Ace of Swords. For what's currently hidden from you, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. For advice from Spirit, we have Strength. And then for your potential outcome, we have the Hanged Man in reverse, and we also have the Three of Swords. So let's grab another tarot deck and see if we can clarify these cards just a little bit more. Starting again with your current energy, let's see what we have for my Aries collective, and we have the Empress in reverse. For what's currently hidden from you, we have Death in reverse. Oh, did one flip over? Yes, for advice from Spirit, we have the King of Cups. And for your potential outcome, we have the Ten of Cups. All right, so let's get some Lenormands and get some final messages before we get into your reading. We have Concern for your current energy. We have Privileged Lady for what's currently hidden from you. For advice from Spirit, we have Judication. And for your potential outcome, we have Main Female. All right, so let's get into this, Aries. Looking at the overall energy that's surrounding you right now, we have the arts and we have time to go. It really feels as though right now, the energy that's surrounding this reading is one of freedom and sort of embracing your wild side. And not saying that in the bad way, but it almost feels as though there's been very much an energy of routine that you've been in. It's not necessarily anything that you're passionate about. It's not something that's particularly exciting to you. And it feels as though it might be because you're not embracing the other pieces of you that make you you, right? So let's say that, maybe you work at a bank, but you absolutely love painting or knitting or sewing or something that's outside of this very rigid structure. Like there's this piece of creativity, this different side of you that I don't think that you've necessarily let out. And so I feel like the energy that's surrounding this reading is that maybe it's time to move on from what you've been doing and start bringing in pieces of your other self. Those things that do ignite that spark, those things that do make you happy, those things that you're passionate about. So maybe this is time for you to think about starting a new journey or slightly adjusting the one that you've been on. But let's get into some tarot and see what the cards have to say. So your current energy, we have the Knight of Swords, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Empress in reverse, and we also have Concern. So Aries, I feel like this is you who's sort of taking a step back and looking at your life. And maybe it's a situation where you're getting older, you kind of see time, sort of ticking away. And you're really starting to think, what is this life? What does this mean to me? Am I happy? Am I doing the things that I want to do? And I don't think that right now you're in a particularly bad situation, but it may not be your ideal. And it feels as though you may want a new start, but you want to be logical about it. You want to make sure that you think things through. And in doing that thinking, it almost feels as though you're going back and forth. Like, yeah, should I, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should do that. No, no, I shouldn't do that. Everything's fine. I'm not gonna, rock the cradle or, upset the balance that I found or anything like that. It feels like a very it's a mental exercise, it feels like for you. But where you are right now is that you are not in your creative space. You're not birthing anything new. I don't think that there's anything that you're nurturing, right? That you're starting to grow. It just feels as though you are in your pretty good place and that's it. Like it's pretty good. No reason to change anything. But I think in some moments you're really sitting giving some thought as to whether or not this is the life that was truly meant for you, whether or not this is the life that you want to live, the one that makes you happy. And it almost feels like you're starting to worry that, you know, you're going to be unfulfilled going forward. Like, this is it. Like, is this it? Should this be it? This can't be it. Or maybe it is. That's sort of what it feels like. A lot of thinking and a little bit of worry about whether or not you're doing what's right for you. So looking at what's currently hidden from you, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse, we have Death in reverse, and we also have the Privileged Lady. So it almost feels as though underneath everything, you're trying to get out of your head and, not overthink, maybe trying something new, exploring something different, shaking up your world a little bit. There hasn't been that transformation, right? There hasn't been that rebirth that you may have been looking for. And it almost feels as though you think that maybe taking that leap of doing something different is meant for other people, but not you. That, that's something that's reserved for a select few in this world. And maybe that's why you're going back and forth, because you may not necessarily think that you have the privilege or the ability to sort of make this mini transformation. And again, I'm not feeling as though this is something that's like completely turn your world upside down type of change, but a little refinement that's more authentically you. For some reason, it feels as though you don't believe you can do it. That maybe other people can, but not you. And so getting out of that headspace and moving forward with that little transformation is something that seems to be blocked right now. Looking at the advice from Spirit, we have Strength, we have the King of Cups, and we have Judication. So Spirit is saying that now is your time. Now is your time to make that decision, to make that final determination whether or not you want to move forward. They're telling you to gather your strength and think about the things that you love. Think about the type of life that would give you that energy, that would ignite that passion, that has that spark that you're missing right now. So is that, somehow tapping into that free-spirited, creative, open part of yourself and moving forward, leaving that rigid and okay person, in the past, moving on from that energy towards something that excites you, something that makes you feel alive and new, something that's transformative. Looking at the potential outcome, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. We have the Three of Swords. We have the Ten of Cups, and we have the main female. So before you look at the Three of Swords and say, oh my God, this is going to end in disaster, it's not. I think that with the Hanged Man in reverse, this is you coming out of that stagnant back and forth energy. This is you seeing things from a different perspective and realizing that making these changes, these small transformations, are not going to end in disaster. I think that you are going to realize that you are worthy and you're capable and you're just as deserving of a life that you love as anybody else is. And once you come to that realization and start moving forward, you have the Ten of Cups and the main female. This is you standing in your full energy. This is you being that chick, you being that dude. And this is your happiness coming in. Where you were fine over here, you're happy over here. And you're starting to be more authentically you. You're starting to infuse the essence of who you are into your life and the world around you. So this is super good energy. I'm going to pull one last oracle card for you and see what final message Spirit has. Okay. And what we have that came out for you is make a plan. So Aries, since you've been so thoughtful and so cerebral, while you're doing that, sit down and map out maybe what you want your life to be like, what you think is missing. Write down what would inspire you and figure out how you can infuse that into your life right now, even if it's a small thing. Even if it's a small thing. You know, it could be something as small as wearing red lipstick, you know, out of the house. Or if you're a guy, yeah, I don't really know what you all do, but you know, maybe a bold and spicy pocket square. I don't know, but figure out what would sort of enhance your existence and your life and move towards that, because it's time to leave this stuck back and forth feeling of unworthiness. It's time to leave that in the past. It's time to tap into the other parts of yourself and let that guide you towards your happy place. So Aries, I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that this was helpful and I hope that it resonated with you somehow. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. In the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'm sending you all huge hugs.